was just sitting at random event and thinking to myself, today will be the first day where I'm starting to change myself and I'm becoming a better version of myself every single day. And I'm starting to dream big. What's kept me moving is the promise. I promised my parents, I promised my family, I promised my grandparents that I will be big. That one day they'll come to my jet, they'll come to my yacht. I'm just manifesting it and I know it's gonna happen. The biggest advice I will tell to somebody looking to create a podcast is to do not listen for others. I remember there was one night I watched Grant Cardone, and I was so inspired by his story and how he always say to us, look, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you.
So Tom, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel was a big inspiration to me. I'm always been a favor of YouTube in terms of looking at YouTube videos, learning from other people. And so I said to myself, you know what? You always look at other people, but it might be the time for you to also step in and teach other people about what is it that you know, how you can connect with people, what are some of your networking tips. And I thought to myself, like, you know what? I feel like it's time for me to start helping other people so I can improve myself.
How did you come up with the idea for the Tom Talk Success show?
So, crazy story. First of all, it started about a couple months ago. I'm a big swimmer guy. I always like to swim in the morning. So I'm swimming there and I'm thinking, why would we not start to do like a live morning where I just go live on Instagram and share with people what is my goals, answering some questions, just to help people. And I went on live and I saw that there was not a lot of people, right? It was probably early in the morning. There was not the amount that I was expecting to see. And I said to myself, well, that's bad, but I can turn it to a good. And I started to reach out to people on Instagram saying, hey, I would love to invite you to my show. And all of a sudden, a lot of people was expecting the offers that I showed them and saying, you know what, Tom, I'll come, I'll help you. Let's do the live. I would love to share my story. So all of a sudden, I'm starting to do like a lot of live on Instagram shows where people just, talking about themselves, sharing valuable lessons with their community as well as with my community. And then after a couple, like 4 to 5 lives, I'm like, you know what? We need to take this thing to the next level. Let's actually create the same live on IG, live that I'm creating. Let's create a podcast where it's bigger, better audience, better equipment, better quality, and let's just go all in on that. And that's why I decided to create Tom Talk Success podcast. And since that, it was history. I was able in less than 1 month to get some great influential people to talk about their success with the same strategy, but now in a podcast studio.
What are your short-term and long-term goals for the channel?
So my short-term goals for my channel is to focus about giving value to people. In the end of the day, there's so much different value on YouTube, on Instagram, across all the social media platforms. But my goal is to help with whatever I can. I cannot promise anything. I cannot share stuff that I don't know, but I want the audience to be part of my journey for success, right? If I learn something new today, I want to go on my YouTube channel and share with my community, hey guys, this is what I learned today. I want you to learn it as well. So for the short-term goals is just to build my brand and literally just focus about sharing value with my audience. The long-term goals is to get this podcast and my YouTube channel to be a brand where eventually I want to build a big community all around the world, hopefully, but start here in Florida small, and to create events, to create masterminds and help people and create a community where people can not only just watch me on YouTube, they can actually come and meet me in person, ask me questions, be part of the people that I know. I can help them with direct access, and all of a sudden they became from a viewer to now somebody who we might do business together, we might create collaboration together, and now he have access to my people. So from a viewer, he can really become a partner of mine.
Who are some of your biggest inspirations in the world of entrepreneurship and personal development?
So when I started 4 years ago with my career, I remember there was one night I watched Grant Cardone, and I was so inspired by his story and how he always say to us, look, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So I remember day and night I was sitting about this sentence, thinking to myself, Tom, this is the right time. You need to build a brand. You need to get people to know you. And then all of a sudden, 2 years ago, when I started creating the content creation and creating content, I realized that now I have to deal with my fears, right? I have to take the camera, I have to film myself. I'm not speaking perfect English, I'm an immigrant, but I have to deal with all of those stuff. And I realized, you know what, if you have a commitment and you just want to grow and want to develop yourself, you just need to follow your mentors. And my mentor was the biggest one was Grant Cardone, because he teach me to go big, think big, always think about how can you 10x what you have done until today, to 10x that, and to be better for your future, to be better for your family, to be better for your community, and always think bigger.
What's the best piece of advice you would give to someone looking to start their own podcast or YouTube channel?
The biggest advice I will tell to somebody looking to create a podcast is to do not listen for others. When you will create a podcast, first of all, a lot of people will tell you, well, what would you gonna talk about? You have nothing to talk. Like, why people would tune into your podcast if you didn't create something, you have not earned the right to create a podcast. And what I would tell you is that it doesn't really matter which stage of your life you are currently, and it doesn't matter what you have accomplished or not, there is always going to be something for people to say. So the biggest lesson I would say is to do not listen to others. And if you feel like the podcast will bring you some new partnerships, will bring you new audience, will bring you more exposure, you just cross the checks and you see, all right, this is the perfect thing for me, just go and start it.
What personal habits or routines help you stay productive and focused?
So personal habits that I'm using currently is I'm very big in waking up early. To me, I found it's super important. You know, waking up at like 5 a.m., go to the gym, eat right, and start your day. Because I feel like when I'm waking up at 5 a.m., I'm done already by 6 to 6:30, coming home, eating my breakfast, and 7 a.m. I'm 7 to 7:30, I'm ready to go for my day. Not only that I'm earlier than everybody at that time, but I already have completed my workout. I already can go and, start my businesses, check some stuff, go over emails, and really start my day early, which will eventually turn it to be a productive day for me.
What was the biggest turning point in your life that led you to where you are today?
The biggest turning point in my life was one day I was working and really was trying to find the best way to find clients and really have an access to the big clientele. And when I'm talking about the big clientele is I'm talking about the CEOs, the multi-millionaires, really the most successful people out there. And I remember I was just sitting there, saying to myself, like, Tom, those people are just like yourself. In the end of the day, we are all humans, but how could possibly I get in touch with them? And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I saw this Grant Cardone, ad that was right in front of my eyes on my Instagram, promoting that he's doing an event close to my house here in Aventura. And I said, you know what? Let's try it. Let's try and go and see what it's all about. Maybe I will have the chance to connect with him, maybe not, but let's just try it. And as soon as I saw Grant and as soon as I saw what he was talking about the 10x and leveling up, I thought to myself, this is why I need to be successful, because I want to achieve what those people achieve. I want to achieve what Grant achieved. I want to achieve what other people achieve. I want to achieve bigger stuff. And to me, that was my turning point. It was 4 years ago. I was just sitting at random event and thinking to myself, today will be the first day where I'm starting to change myself and I'm becoming a better version of myself every single day, and I'm starting to dream big.
What motivates you to keep moving forward even when things get tough?
So that's a great question. I feel like to me what's kept me moving is the promise. I promised my parents, I promised my family, I promised my grandparents that I will be big, that one day they'll come to my jet, they'll come to my yacht. I'm just manifesting it and I know it's gonna happen because I tell them the same thing I'm telling myself. The people who achieved all those stuff are not different than me. If they can achieve it, I can achieve it as well. So there is no reason for you or me to do not believe we can achieve it. Because if other people have done it, what could it possibly be that you cannot do?
What's the best investment you've ever made?
The best investment I ever made is investing in myself. Until today, I'm keeping investing everything I can in myself. Masterminds, events, networking events, real estate events, every event out there that I know that could possibly help me, I will go. Every course out there that could possibly teach me anything that I feel will be valuable to me, I will pay. For you guys out there that watch this, make sure you are not afraid to pay for stuff that will be for yourself, for a better future of you, a better future of your family, and a better future of everybody that you know. You have to understand there's so much more that you need to accomplish than what you have accomplished today. And you will never be able to achieve it if you are not keep on studying, keeping on improving yourself. You will just stay the same thing where you're currently at. So make sure you continually invest in yourself, invest for your better future.
How do you balance your personal life with your professional responsibilities?
So that's a great question. What I'm personally doing is one day out of the week, I want to go out, I want to enjoy some time with my friends, I want to enjoy some time with my family. So what I'm usually doing is I'll be working from Sunday to Friday towards the evening, then from the Friday evening to Saturdays, I'm relaxing. Usually I don't deal with work stuff. And then Sunday, I'm back to work, checking my stuff, making sure I'm aligned with my goals. And so I'm trying to really keep that routine going.
What hobbies or activities help you unwind from work?
So what I like to do on my free stuff is obviously I love to go out with friends once a week to just relax, get to know more people. I'm a big believer that going out with friends to restaurants, bars is a great way to network, get your name out there, meet new people. So I really enjoy it. I love to travel. I'm trying to travel every single month if I could, at least for one weekend, maybe go on and visit some countries, maybe go on a cruise and just relax a little. And I think the main reason why I like it is because I'm getting so much inspirations, and there's so many new ideas that I'm getting from traveling and going out, that sometimes I'll be like, oh, no, that's interesting. I've never thought about it, but I should do it. And then when I'm coming back from the vacation, I'm starting to work on the idea that came up to me when I was, on a cruise or when I was traveling with my friends.
If you could get anybody in the world to be on your podcast, who would that be and why?
So I would love to have Grant Cardone on my podcast. If he's listening or somebody have a connection to him, I would love to have him. I told you guys I'm a big believer in myself, so I'm sure if nobody will help me to get him on the podcast, I will get it by myself. I will find a way to get him on my podcast. And the reason why I think Grant was one of the most influential people in my life, one of my biggest mentors, is because Grant was actually my first mentor that I got exposed to. I was not exposed to any other mentors. 4 years ago when I started my career, I was sitting down and I saw an ad coming to my phone and I wanted to check it out, and I went to his events, and since that the rest is history. I've built my brand, I've met with a lot of influential people, but Grant Cardone is definitely still to the day my biggest mentor. I love his career, I love what he was able to build, but I also love that he was able to get me to think bigger, and that's what I'm always consistently doing. Think bigger.
If you can go back in time 5 years ago, what would you do differently?
So if I would go back on time 5 years ago, I would start to believe in myself way earlier. It took me some time until I developed the confidence in myself, and I would have told to myself, like, Tom, you don't have to wait until you'll be like 25, 30 years old to get the respect from other people. You can literally start it young. I would say to myself, don't focus on negativity. I will completely change my environment. The environment was the biggest change in my life. As soon as I started to change my environment, I started to go out with different people and started to hang out with successful people. All of a sudden, my brain just changed. And it will never change if I didn't have those people. So going back in time, let's say we'll go back 5 years ago, instead of focusing on being with my friends, which is good, don't get me wrong, you need to be with your friends, you need to have good time, and you need to enjoy your young age, but I will tell to myself, try at least one day per week to go out there and by yourself meet new people and put yourself in those not confident situation, not knowing situation. But I can see myself, if I would have done it, I will be today 5 times bigger than what I am today.
What are your thoughts on college?
As a student in college, I think it's a good and bad. I think for the most part, it's not gonna help you as much as you might think. I think it's all about the student. I think a lot of people, students especially, are thinking, oh, if I'm gonna go to UM or I'm gonna go to Howard, I'm gonna be this or that, or I'm gonna be the CEO of this or that company. Well, guess what? It has nothing to do about college. I'm not at all believer that if you go to UM, you're a better student than if you go to a community college. Because in my opinion, I think the college has nothing to do with your success. If you want to be successful, you will be successful. You might be successful with college, you might get good grades and find a good job, or you might even not go to college and you'll find yourself out to be successful, right? So you can literally do both. I think personally, it's not gonna help you as you think, but for sure, if you wanna be a doctor, a lawyer, something in that nature, you do need to go to college, you need to get that experience. And here's my biggest point. Even if you decided to go to college, don't say to yourself, I'm just in college right now, I'm just gonna focus on that. No, if you wanna be a lawyer, go to lawyer events, go to networking events of lawyers, fly to New York or something, go to the biggest offices, meet those lawyers, because college will not give you that experience. And also what I will say is make sure you get internship. Internship could be the best thing that college has to offer. If I were to pinpoint one thing that college has to offer which will help students, is internship. And if you don't take part of an internship and if you don't try new stuff out, college have no way to help you.